Now we need to do number 7. So let's understand number 7. Number 7 is basically talks about interpretation. So that means we are going to do what? We get what? The survey. Now, I forget about one thing. When you are developing a survey, you need to develop a cover letter.
Yeah, you said that.
In the cover letter, usually in research methodology all around the world, they tell you a cover letter should be one page. But in this part of the world, people are very busy. Okay? If you give them one page, they will get scared. And they will not answer your questionnaire. So we always say that cover letter, please write it into 3 paragraphs. Short. So let me tell you how you write it, because you're going to do that. First, you put the title of the questionnaire. You put the title of the questionnaire. After the title of the questionnaire, you say, "Dear respondent." After the "Dear respondent," you need to introduce yourself and the research objective. This should not be more than 1.5 line, 2 lines. So the first one is, now we're designing what? A questionnaire. So to design a questionnaire, it goes into this. First, when we design a questionnaire, first we have the title of the questionnaire. Happy? Second, we have around quarter page, what we call it cover page. Okay, now, and because we don't want to make people here read it, because they don't want to read it, so we need to structure this into what? In a 3 paragraph. After that, you need to have what we call your questionnaire design, and here demographics, and you put everything demographic. Here, for example, price. Here, all these questions related to price. Here is quality. Here is this, environment. Here is location. You understand? So if you look at it, my questionnaire becoming what? Very coherent with my construct. Now let's look at this, how you do it. All right? So to do this, first you write the title of the questionnaire. Then you write here, "Dear respondent." In the first line, you say, you introduce yourself. You say, "Part of my academic research or academic degree is to conduct a research." Okay? Now, the second things you need to do is to say, now why you need to say, either you say the aim of this questionnaire is to measure the internet addictions among employees in the banking sector, as it's a part of an academic work. Why I need to use that word, academic work? Because those people who is going to answer your question, they will sympathize with you. You're distinguishing yourself from where? From private consultancy. Because, majority of people say, you know what, he's, doing his degree, let's help. So you say this is for academic purposes or academic work. So first you start with the objective sentence. Then you say basically is for academic purpose. Then the second line altogether as a paragraph, you say that this questionnaire will take, after the aim, this questionnaire will take 5 minutes or 8 minutes to finish. Therefore you say This questionnaire will take 5 minutes from your time, and all the data that you provide us is confidential. So you do what? How long? And you do assurance of confidentiality. Second, follow that, you say, if you like to obtain any results, final results, please send an email to this one. For any clarifications or questions on this questionnaire, please contact or send an email. You understand? Yeah. Now, very important in this culture is that you don't put your own mobile. You go by a temporary number, okay, and you make a temporary email. Why? Because nobody can bother you at night. For people to say, okay, wow, I don't want to get this question, this. More than 3 pages, people don't like. Okay?
This cover page, is it the same paragraph that I will...
It's a paragraph. It's not a page.
The email. If I send the email, I will send this paragraph.
Same one.
And I will give the link.
Yes, and I will show you Monkey Survey. You can print your questionnaire, and that will be a hard copy you can give back. Okay, guys? Can I finish?
Yeah, questionnaire, do we need to do sequence?
Okay, you don't need to shuffle them. Okay, guys? But if you are doing a research like what I'm doing lately, which is I will show you, it's not a research, it's a test. But it is a research. I'm measuring your competency of account. Now, if I make the question not shuffled, more likely everybody will, what is the question, what's the question? So that means I have to shuffle them. Now you ask me a question is I will show you how, in some question is, I want to know, I know, for example, people who live in this place, in this area and city, they are of different economic level. And people who live in this different economic level. I don't want to ask them, what is your economic level? Okay? So what I do, since I know this is for a fact, I will ask them, what is your zip code or block number? You understand? Clear? I done that, matter of fact, in this one. Okay? I was looking for hypothesis. Do really people who are rich buy gold? Only rich people buy gold? From Bahrain jewelry?
What did you find?
What do you think?
They don't. They don't buy gold.
The question was, is only rich people go buy gold from Bahrain jewelry? يعني only from certain class, certain area in Bahrain?
Generally there is
what do you think?
Or normal one?
No, for the rich I think they are buying from outside Bahrain. Not that important.
Very interesting, the rich, I'll tell you. Yeah, because we call that outlier now in this one. Remind me outlier. In this study, we were looking, is this people go to the gold exhibitions and buy gold? Is only certain class? We find no, everybody, regardless of where you are, you buy gold. That was very important for marketing, because we need to understand where do we need to market, in which area, you know, once you know. Okay guys, clear? So let's go together. Again, you get the data now, you get your questionnaire, you get the data. If you are using SurveyMonkey, so the data you could download it from SurveyMonkey directly to the SPSS. If you are using a questionnaire like that, so you have to enter it yourself. In other words, you have to code the questionnaire. Now you need to ask yourself, what are the statistical analysis I need to use? Statistical analysis, as we mentioned, is coming from where? The literature review. From the literature review, you know what are the most common statistical methods used for this. But usually every research use the following. Write it down. Descriptive statistic analysis. Mean you are describing the data. If you are using another one is correlation. You make correlation between two variables. Is there is علاقة, correlation. Is there is a relationship between gender and chocolate consumption. Is there is a relationship between age and consumptions of coffee. Is there is a correlation between profession and consumption of coffee. Another one is called hypothesis testing, which is called what? Inferencing. Okay? Mean you reject or you accept the hypothesis. If your research is based on hypothesis, that means you will do what? Reject or accept. But some research telling you, example, you don't know what is the dependent and what are the independent variable. You have a lot of variables, but you don't know which one dependent and independent. You cannot classify them. You use what we call factor analysis. Therefore, it's very important you do your literature. From the literature, you know what are the most common statistic, and you just go read about it, learn about it in YouTube, and you accomplish it. You got it, guys? So in this case, we have data. These data are raw data. When we have a raw data, we need to describe this data. In other words, we need to know what is the profile of the data. So we call this a descriptive statistic, which is basically mean, variance, mood. Okay, guys? All right? This is basically describing my data. Statistic, only we need to do what? Generalizations. So we need to say that our sample finding is what? Reflecting to the target population. Descriptive statistics is used to describe the characteristics of our sample. Mean how many male, how many female, how many said agree, how many said disagree for each question. Inferencing is used to generalize from our sample to our population. Mean what? We doing what? Hypothesis statistic. We do hypothesis statistic. We do generalization. We call this statistic inferencing statistic, inferential statistic. So mainly in statistic there is two main schools, two types, descriptive and inferencing. Descriptive is basically you summarizing the data in terms of what we call mean, median, mood. In inferencing statistic, you basically doing the hypothesis or the correlation. So in descriptive, mean, median, mood. The mean is the average. The median is the middle point after you put them in order. The mood is the most frequent score. In this case, here is the mean. You add them all and you divide them by the number, which is the average. The median is basically you need to sort them from 1 to 3 all the way. 1, 3, 3, 4. So in this case, D is 4 is the median. You look for standard deviation and variance. Variance is where is your score in the test. This is the mean of the class, 50, and your score is what? 55. So you are how much away above 5 plus 5. The average score of the test is 50 and you are what? 40 7. So you are below by minus 3. But we need, that's a variance, variations. Your score from the mean. Everybody, I'm the mean, and your variations is your score. The standard deviation is the overall variations. Here is basically we have standard deviations 10.3. The higher the standard deviation, the wider is what? The data. The smaller the standard deviation, the narrow is the data profile. We look for something called central tendency to tell us where is everybody on the average availability. Null hypothesis, again, either we reject or we accept. Mean, we have to set up a threshold, 0.05. We call that a critical value. Anything above that will lead to what? Accepting the null hypothesis. Anything below 0.05, 0.03, 0.01 mean we reject the null hypothesis and we accept the alternative. You understand, guys? That there is a difference. Significant, as I mentioned now, refer the probability of where we accept and we reject. Descriptive, frequency distribution, graphic, spread. So here is an experiment. This is an experiment of a research. Everybody in this page, guys? A researcher wants to investigate a short-term memory capacity. How many symbols, remembers, are recorded for what? 20 participants. Now, at one point, we've done this experiment. It's very simple. We want to understand, we have 20 people like you, and we want to study what is the average of this people, 20, remember the 20, remember the graphs, pictures. So in this case, we have an experiment where we bring pictures of people, places, and we show people. After that, we tell them take a break, and we bring them back. Upon when we bring them back, we ask them for each picture, what is this place? The first guy, remember how many? 4. The second guy, 6, 3, 7. Guy number 20, remember how many? 6. Okay? So how many people remember 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it, guys? In this case, we call it frequency distribution. We get the count. How many people remember 11? 1. How many? 10? 2. So now we need to do the frequency. We do the frequency distribution and we do the mean. And after we do the mean, we plot the data. If the data is become a bell shape, mean it is what? A normal population. In this case, if you remember, how many people remember 3? 1? 2. 3, remember 2. 2 times 2 give us 6. How much they make the 2 out of 20? 10%. 2 divide over? Yeah. The percentage. In this case, we call this is the percentage, and this is the weight of these guys. Now we need to get accumulated frequency. So how many people remember? What is the percentage of people who remember 8 and less? 8 and below pictures. We add this, 80%. So this is one way in the result. We say 80% of the participant remember 8 or less pictures. We do that basic analysis, I said, frequency, descriptive, correlation, regressions. You got it? And hypothesis testing. Now we get the data. We do what? Coding. After you get your survey, the first things you do, you number them. Response 1, response 2, response 3. Why? Why? Because you're going to enter them in SPSS. You could maybe miss typing. So remember we said you either number them before you give people, so you keep track who responded. But be careful. People will get annoyed when they see you give them a questionnaire with number. You understand, guys? When I give you a questionnaire and I write questionnaire number 250, that means indirectly I'm telling you, listen, I know I give it to you.
Yeah, somebody else is doing it.
I know. No, if you don't done it, I know that you have not done it. There is a way to do that. You could do it in a very small letter down in the edge. You understand? You asked me just one of them your question.
I asked you this.
Yeah. You write it in the legend down. Okay, got it? So that person don't what? See it. Yeah. Matter of fact, you could have, if it's a different version, like, exams, person don't know, you know, by putting asterisk, italic, distinguish them. So you do coding. In this case, you code, you edit your questionnaire. Any questionnaire filled complete, what do? That's the first priority, you enter it. Anything 80% not filled, you throw it away. Okay? Anything like 10%, you accept it. The most important, you get the one filled away. Now, at one point, people will do for you what? They don't answer their gender, for example. Skip a question, right? So again, you put a missing value. Again, if a lot of questions are missing value, then you have what? A problem. In SurveyMonkey, you could force the participant to answer it. I'll show you how you do. It's an asterisk. You say it's a must question. That means the person have to answer that. You code them. Again, one is male, one is female. You enter them in SPSS, you analyze them. Again, 1, 2, 3, you know it. We done male, female. Open, we done the open, right? We code them. You do the SPSS. Again, this is SPSS. I put for you all the link. This is a video, like 5 minutes to 10 minutes, how you enter data in SPSS.
It's online.
Huh?
It's online.
Online, yeah. No, it's not online. You can download it as a trial.
Minitab, no?
Huh?
Minitab instead.
You have Minitab? I don't have it. Is it free? Or is it easy? We use SPSS because the industry use it. Matter of fact, if you know SPSS, you could make a lot of money. Yeah. Okay, but you could use that one. Why not? Now, this is the variable. Again, remember I talk about the scale, ordinal, nominal. Okay? So you ask yourself what is the variables, what is the type, and you put the measurement. Nominal, like what? Religion, zip code, okay, orange, apple, no relation. Ordinal mean the value has what? Different rank. Scale is your weight, heart rate, pulse, okay, your income, anything numbers with digits. Again, nominal, this is basically descriptive statistic. I put for you here how you do descriptive in SPSS. How do you frequency distribution? How do you do regressions? And we have another thing called reliability. In a questionnaire, we run in SPSS a reliability test. That's very important. You remember I talked to you when you select a questionnaire, you ask for reliability. Does this questionnaire really measure what it's supposed to measure? If it is 0.6 is the minimum, 0.7 recommended, above. So this is it's called Cromba Alpha. What is called? Cromba Alpha. Between 0 and 1. 0.7 and higher is considered what? Acceptable. Now remember one thing. In the construct, you remember we had price, quality. You do two reliability. You do reliability for all the question, and you do reliability for the construct. Why? Because each construct is independent from another construct. So that means I do reliability for the price. That means, is these 5 questions really measuring what they're supposed to measure? Now, if you have a reliability point, let's say 0.7, and you want to improve your reliability, in SPSS will tell you which question you need to remove it, so your reliability becoming higher. You do a graph, I'll show you, correlation, regressions. Again, let's say you are doing factor analysis in your research based on the literature, doing factor analysis. So you go to your YouTube and you say, how do you do SPSS factor analysis? Or you read the SPSS manual. Normality tests, you look for normality of your data. Okay, persons is a correlation between gender and chocolate. And we discuss about hypothesis and we finish it. Okay guys? Waqt salah? Now,